You know what's frustrating? We live in the most medically advanced time in history, yet chronic disease rates keep climbing. We have more doctors, more specialists, more medications than ever before, but somehow we're sicker. Today we're going to talk about something that might surprise you. The gap in medical training that's keeping you stuck. What doctors don't know about nutrition and why that matters for your health. But more importantly, we're going to go back to the beginning. Back to what God designed for our bodies and how simple He actually made it. If you're tired of feeling confused between what your doctor says and what the natural health world tells you, grab your favorite drink, grab a paper, grab your Bible, and let's settle in. Welcome to Strength for Generations, the go-to podcast for Christian families who want to build strength, restore energy, and deepen connection with God at the center. I'm Krista Baker, Christian health coach, wife, mom, and co-founder of Baker Family Fitness. I'm here to help you honor God with your health and bring peace back to the process, to simplify what it means to build strength in your body, renew your mind, and care for your spirit, all without losing precious time with your family. So grab your coffee and your ribeye, and let's do this His way. Now, before we jump in, I want to tell you about something that's going to help you cut through all the confusion. It's called the Move Mountains Method, and it's a 5-day training. It's for free, and it's going to break down exactly how to honor God with your body without getting lost in all the conflicting advice. You'll get access to everything first, and I'll walk you through the simple biblical approach to health that actually works. Plus, when you join our email list, you'll always be the first to know about any upcoming specials, new resources, and exclusive content I only share with our community. So head over to bakerfamilyfitness.com/movemountains right now, because what we're talking about today is going to make so much more sense when you have your foundations covered, and we do that in our 5-day training. Again, that's bakerfamilyfitness.com/movemountains. Now, I have something I really want to share with you guys that's happening in my personal life. Sadly, my mom is in the hospital right now. She broke her hip. And as I've been navigating this journey with her, I've been absolutely shocked at what passes for food in our healthcare system. Processed meals, sugary drinks, refined carbohydrates at every single meal. And this is where you're supposed to be when people go to heal. None of what they're serving is created to heal the body. It's absolutely insane to me. And this is where our healthcare dollars go. Here in Canada, we don't have healthcare. I often hear a lot of people say, well, I work in healthcare. No, you work in sick care. Our country's really good at acute issues, like my mom's broken hip. But when it comes to preventing disease and creating health, our systems, honestly, they suck and they're completely backwards. And this isn't just in Canada. It's in the US as well. Obesity rates have tripled since 1975. Here in Canada, we have 64% of our adults are overweight or obese. That is 2/3 of our population. We're obviously doing something wrong. Type 2 diabetes rates have doubled in the last 20 years. Health disease is the number one killer. Yet when someone actually takes charge of their health, doctors are blown away. I remember asking my doctor, why don't you guys give this advice? First of all, they're not qualified. They don't know how to do it. Second of all, he's like, no one's going to listen. He said, if I can get 1 out of 10 of my patients to listen, I've done a good job. I recently had a client reach out to me who was going for a 6-month screening at a cancer clinic. And the day she was there, she got the news that she doesn't have to come back anymore. Amazing. I love that. But they were also kind of blown away. They looked at her and they're like, have you intentionally tried to lose weight? And she's like, yeah, I'm learning how to care for my body. And they were completely thrown back. Almost like, how'd you figure this out? And I don't get it. It's actually really not that hard. It's very simple, to be honest. But this is the problem we're facing. We live in a world that wants us to feel confused about our health. Go on Instagram. I've talked to you guys about this multiple times. You go on Instagram and all you see is conflicting nutritional advice everywhere. Trust me, I know. I worked with coaches for a very long time. I saw what each one of them would say and promote. Influencers with abs telling you what to eat, not understanding what your body's going through. Just because they look healthy, it doesn't mean that they have the right information. The information overload is overwhelming by design. But God, He gave us a book. He gave us guidelines, and sometimes we don't obey them, but the truth is still there. Let me share 4 things that doctors don't know about nutrition that are keeping you stuck and how God's design made it so much simpler. So first, doctors still think it's just calories in and calories out. Anytime I've talked to a client or I've had an initial consultation with somebody and they've shared with me that their doctor has given them advice to lose weight. And then I ask them, well, how are you doing that? Well, he told me I need to eat 1,000 calories. That's usually what I hear. I've had people tell me 800. I've had people tell me 1,200, but not like what calories. And they're really stuck in that old school way of thinking about weight and health. They believe it's just simply calories in and calories out. But what we actually put in our mouths and in our minds really matter. Food is information for your cells, not just fuel for your body. Medical school teaches them to just treat numbers, not people. They look at lab values and BMI charts, not how food actually affects your body. But God designed food to nourish every cell, every organ, every system. In Genesis 1:29, God says, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. He didn't design processed food in factories. He designed living food that works with your body's natural healing processes. He also gave us dominion over animals, over the fish in the sea. He gave us everything we needed. I keep thinking back to the first 6 days we were supplied with all we needed. And so I do personally have my clients understand calories. I understand food and macros because I think it's a really, really good place to start because it creates awareness. I don't want my clients to have to count calories for the rest of their lives. I want them to go and enjoy their lives, but understanding how the impact of that food has on them. And so typically I get them to start with learning about their macros, increasing specific food groups, decreasing specific food groups based off of what they're currently doing. But what I really want them to learn and what I want you guys to really think about is how does this food make me feel? Does this give me energy or drain me? Make me bloated? Does it hurt? Is it something that God created or something man manufactured? Present your food choices to the Lord and ask Him for wisdom. James 1:5 tells us that if any of us lack wisdom, we should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault. Okay, next. Our doctors don't understand the gut-brain connection. Not a lot of medical doctors do. Actually, every time I talk to a medical doctor about this, it's almost like they look at me like I'm crazy. Doctors treat symptoms in isolation. Anxiety gets one med. Digestive issues get another. Skin problems get the third. And down the line we go. They don't understand that 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. Maybe they do, but they don't know how to fix it because they would tell you if they did. They don't connect that what's happening in your digestive system actually affects your brain, your mood, your energy, and everything. They're not trained in whole body health. They're just kind of there to fix and put you back together as best as they can. But God designed your body as one integrated system. 1 Corinthians 12:26 says, if one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. Your gut health affects your mental health, your immune system, your hormone balance. It's all connected because God designed it that way. So I want you guys to start paying attention to how your gut feels after you eat. Are you bloated? Do you feel gassy? Do you feel discomfort? These are your body's warning signals. Ask God to reveal which foods are causing inflammation in your system. Focus on healing your digestive system first and watch the other symptoms improve. God designed your body to communicate with you if you'll listen. This is a little bit more complex. Like, we have to figure out why these foods are doing this. But if they're doing it, then we need to stop having them until we can figure out why. Okay, next, doctors skip the root cause and they jump to symptom management. So this is the biggest problem I see. People skip steps and worry about tiny micronutrient issues when they're never addressing the real actual foundation. Man, I look at some people's lists of their supplements or their meds or whatever they're on, and it's like 15 different things, but you're still eating processed crappy food every single day. And I'm just going to note right now, guys, I don't look at food as good and bad. There is some really crappy stuff out there that we just keep eating, and it's not nourishing our body. It's not making us feel good. And that is the processed food. Sure, food goes through processing plants, like to get your meat to be ground. Like, that's like this argument that I hear all the time in the fitness space. But what I'm talking about is people are taking 15 different supplements, but they're still going to McDonald's for breakfast every day, hitting Subway at lunch, and maybe having a Pop-Tart for dinner. Okay? They're worried about, am I getting enough vitamin D? But still drinking a pop with every single meal. Our medical system is built on treating symptoms, not creating health. It's more profitable to manage disease than to prevent it, which blows my mind all the time because I'm looking at this food and I'm like, this is gross. Like, I really don't want to judge, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, we know better. This is not brand new information. But we really suck at this in our country. And I'm sorry, I'm a little fired up right now because it's obviously hitting me personally, but it's like been hitting me for a long time because of what I do for a living. And I know how hard it is for people because I work with them all the time and I see how challenging it is. God's design is prevention through proper stewardship of our bodies. God gave us beautiful, complex bodies that no one understands. Like I said, we've got more doctors, more of all of these things, but yet we still don't have any answers. When we do, we have his book. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to start with the basics before you worry about the advanced stuff. Are you drinking water? Are you eating real whole food that God created? Are you sleeping well? Right? Are you managing your stress through prayer and rest? I don't want you to skip those foundational steps to chase the latest health trend. All right, my friends, next, doctors don't address spiritual and emotional health. Go and sit in the hospital room. Tell me that even the person that painted that wall had any idea of how mute everything is and like blah, like, the lighting, the flashing, like these rooms, these places aren't going to facilitate healing at all. And so most doctors, they ignore that connection between your spiritual health and your physical health. I actually have a pretty cool doctor because I went in a couple months ago, or no, maybe last year. And, he's like, hey, like, we're going over blood labs. We're going over these things. And he goes, well, how's your mental health? Are you exercising? Do you talk to anybody? And that mental health, we went into a conversation about spiritual health. So I feel blessed that I have a doctor that is actually aware of these things, but most of them aren't, right? They don't understand that chronic stress, your unforgiveness, your spiritual unrest create real physical symptoms. They treat the body like it's separate from the soul, but God designed us as whole beings. Proverbs 17:22 tells us a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Your emotional and spiritual health directly impacts your physical health. God designed us as integrated beings, mind, body, and spirit, guys. I talk about this all the time. Each area matters. Have you presented your health concerns to God? This is the most important thing that you're going to do today. I want you to stop right now and ask, have I actually even spoken to the Lord about my health concerns? I want you to start bringing every single health struggle to God in prayer. We prayerfully consider a lot of different decisions in our lives. Like, should I take this job? Should I buy that car? Should I marry this man? All these different decisions, but have we actually brought this decision or this conversation to him? When some of my clients I'll start to see, I'm like, hey, I see that you're struggling right now. We need to get on top of that. And they're like, well, what do I do? I'm like, well, have you asked God? I am here to help guide. I'm your coach. I am here to navigate this journey with you. But have you actually talked to God about your sugar addiction? Have you talked to God about your closeted eating? Have you actually presented this to him? Ask him to reveal any areas of maybe unforgiveness, worry, stress that might be affecting your body, because all of those things do, and that's that holistic side of our health, right? Remember Psalm 139:14, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. God cares about every aspect of your health, not just your symptoms. So what can we do? Let me give you some very practical steps that you could take right now. First, let's clean up your foundation. Stop eating food that comes in packages with ingredient lists that you can't pronounce. And I'm not saying that you can never have something when you're on the go. What I'm saying is we've got to stop doing it so often. If you don't know what there's 40 ingredients on this list, it's probably not good for you. So I what I call it is like a single food item, right? What is the ingredients on this list? Steak. It's just steak. Okay. I will always talk about steak. It's my favorite. I want you to start eating food that God created, what he gave us. Go back and read Genesis and just look at what he gave us, because he gave us everything we needed. He gave us light for a reason. We need to be in the sun. If your great-grandmother wouldn't recognize it as food, don't eat it. So this recently came to my attention. A lot of different food companies will buy out other food companies, or they start to change ingredients and labels. And labels can be very skewed. We don't really have really good regulation on labels. So if you look at the label of, let's say, Annie's Organic Mac and Cheese, if you look at the newer label, it's changed the ingredients that are in it. Just like, Costco's blueberry muffins don't actually have any blueberries in them. So think about that as you start to make your decisions on the foundational work. That's really important. Next, I want you to pay attention to your body's signals. God gave you an incredible feedback system. How do you feel? We have become so disconnected with our bodies, and it gets to the point that I have clients that I work with, and then I just teach them, okay, let's just have more of this and a little bit less of that. And we'll start moving this stuff around so that you can still enjoy, but we're not, killing ourselves all day long. And by week 3, most people are like, my taste buds have changed. And then eventually, I don't even want this anymore, because now they know how bad they feel when they reintroduce it. They're like, oh, I had some of this stuff that I used to have all the time. I can't believe I used to have that. How did I even live? So I want you to really think about what gives you energy versus what drains you. So when you eat a meal, do you feel energized after? Or are you like, I'm a slug and I don't want to move? Your body is constantly communicating with you if you'll listen. My pastor talks a lot about ask, listen, and obey. Next, I want you to bring your health to the Lord. Pray about your food choices. Ask him to reveal what your body needs. Ask him to show you any emotional or spiritual roots to your health struggles. There's not a day that goes by that I don't hear from somebody that They have a rooted health issue because of something that they saw their parents do, their family, somebody made fun of them. It's rooted. It's mostly like childhood or teenage years. Maybe it's something that they saw, but it grabs a root and it becomes a struggle for our health long term. So ask God to reveal to you, what is that for you? He cares about every detail of your life, including your health. Okay, fourth, do not get overwhelmed by conflicting advice. When you see contradictory information online, come back to God's design. That social media stuff, it's meant to keep you there. It's meant to make you confused. The fitness space and the medical space are both equally guilty of this. It's very conflicting and very polarizing for a reason. So go back to his design. Is this something he created? Does this align with how he had designed my body to function? I want you to keep it simple and stay grounded in his truth. Here's what I want you guys to remember. You're not crazy. I know I say this to you guys all the time, but you're not. I was told so many times that just something was wrong and nobody, no, it's all in your head. It's not. You're not crazy for feeling confused. The medical world has created a system that manages sickness instead of creating health. And the natural health world can be overwhelming with conflicting advice, but God's design is simple and clear. He created your body to heal. He provided food as medicine. He designed you as a whole person. Whole. Mind, body, and spirit. The training gap in the medical education is very real. The average doctor gets about 20 hours of nutrition education in their entire medical school training because they're staying in their lane. That's less time than you probably spent researching a new car. But you don't have to stay stuck because of this gap. You can become educated about God's design for your health. You can learn to listen to your body. You can take charge of your health in a way that honors Him. Now, if this resonates with you, I want you to take action right now. Get over to my website, bakerfamilyfitness.com/movemountains, and sign up for the free 5-day training. I will walk you through exactly how to honor God with your body in a way that's simple, sustainable, and that actually works. You'll get access to everything first, plus anything that comes out. Anytime I create something, I share that with my community. So stop feeling confused and overwhelmed. God has a plan for your health, and it's a lot simpler than you think. Go back to His design, trust His wisdom, and watch your body respond the way He created it to. Now let me pray for you before we close. Father, I thank you right now for each person listening today. I thank you that you have fearfully and wonderfully made each one of them. Lord, I pray that you would give them the wisdom and discernment about their health. Help them to see their bodies as the temples you created them to be. Give them clarity through all the confusing voices in the world. Show them which foods you've provided for their healing. Reveal any areas where stress, unforgiveness, or worry might be affecting their physical health. Help them to trust your design and your timing. Give them courage to make the changes you're calling them to make. And Lord, help them to remember that their worth isn't tied to their weight or their health struggles. You love them exactly as they are, and you have a good plan for their lives. In Jesus' name, amen. Thanks for tuning in to Strength for Generations. If this podcast encouraged you, it would be a blessing if you took a quick minute to leave a 5-star review. It helps more families hear this message and find hope for their health and faith journey. It lights me up to know this podcast is helping you. And if you feel led to share this episode, text it to a friend, post it to your stories, or send it to someone on your heart. God might use it to encourage someone who really needs it today. And don't forget to eat steaks, lift weights, love Jesus, and keep doing it His way.